Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Fastlane, which is like a side project which turned out to be really important. If you wonder what is Fastlane, I'm going to tell you in a second. But it's truly a way to make it so that everybody on the internet can experience a better web, not just humans, also machines. As you probably know, like so many things out there on the web are crawling through websites, taking that knowledge and giving it to LLMs or for other reasons, for training other algorithms. So about me, my name is Orlando. Everybody calls me Orlie. I moved here 10 years ago. This is my second startup, ToolHouse.ai. If you want to connect with me, this is some of the information. There we go, just making it large. Everybody can see it. That's my email. And I truly am into like web scraping and open source. So this is kind of like one of the tweets that will summarize why it's important to talk about a better web for everybody. 10 years ago, and for every visitor on a website, Google would like scrape that website twice, right? Mm-hmm. Then the ratio went up, and now it's insane, right? Like now you have like Anthropic scraping a website 60,000 times for every human visitor. Why do they do that? Training data, whatever. So the idea is that like crawlers, they don't basically give anything back to the creators. So how can we improve that? How can we make it so that if you're a creator, you probably write like a lot of blogs, a lot of content, but you don't want your data to just be like scooped up, right? So what a lot of people do today, if you go on Amazon, LinkedIn, there's a login page, there's like a CAPTCHA, you know, there's like annoying things where there's puzzles or you have to verify that you're human. So I think there's a better way where we can basically make it so that if you're an AI agent or a scraper, you have to pay. But if you're a human, you don't have to pay. So I will demonstrate that. I have a bunch of slides, but 7 minutes is not going to be enough. So I'll jump directly into the demo. If you follow with me, you can go to this website right here. If you want to try it on your phone, this is live right now. So you can scan the QR code and you will see that there's like just a super basic website. Welcome to Fastlane Worker. This is hosted in Cloudflare, by the way. So thank you, Cloudflare, for letting me use your services for free. As a human, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to take away your QR code. If you're still trying to get it, there it is. You will notice on this page, though, that you have like a link which takes you to like a fake blog, right? Which we will click in a second. And then you will also see that there's a table here that has like an ID, a token, which is obviously fake, and a wallet, which in this case it's 97, right? So, and then you also have a publisher, which has a wallet with a value of 203. You will understand in a second what I mean by that. Now, let's pretend I'm a human. I go to this website. The content is protected, but I'm a human, right? Like if I refresh this, you see like I have my CAPTCHA here, and voila, I can access the website. I'm a human. Look, there's a beautiful blog post about agents. You know, this is all ChatGPT slop. I just made it just to show you that as a human, you can browse the web really nicely. But what happens if you're a bot? You know, what if you're a bot that doesn't have hands? Well, let me show you here what happens. I'm going to run a script here. Let's see. No, I'm just going to do npm run in, sorry. Okay, so this was going to basically start a browser, which is how bots usually see website. It's like a headless, usually browser, which means the bot will automatically control the browser like a human would, but it's programmatic. So this browser, if you see here in the top, it says Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. All of the advanced scraping that happens on today's web is very similar to this. If I try to verify that I'm a human, boom, failed. I'm a bot. I got caught, right? 99% of scrapers now fail because you just got shut down by Cloudflare. But obviously, we want to make it so that agents or bots can access my content, but I want to do that in a way where they get to pay something. So I get rewarded. So how do you do that? Well, going back to my example here, what we have is Fastlane, which basically acts as an intermediary that basically verifies whether you're human or if you're an authorized agent that has a wallet which has money, which means the bot can pay me for my content. So let's take another example here. I'm going to go back to my worker here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a curl request, which is another way to scrape a website as a bot, but with just nothing. And as you can see, I just get a bunch of HTML back. I don't get the actual content of the blog post. But what if you use Fastlane? Okay, good question. If you use Fastlane, all you have to do is to add this header here, which basically says, I am a user of Fastlane as a bot. Here's my agent token. As a reminder, I have 97 credits here, right? As you can see, and the publisher has 203. Now, if I run this command, I get back, aha, I get the actual content of the website in a markdown format, which means it's better for bots, better for scrapers. There's no HTML. It's all clean. Is that worth 1 token? Let's see if I refresh. Yep, the transaction happened from 97. I'm now down to 96. If I do it again, boom, 95. And every time I scrape the website, the publisher gets an extra token, right? Now, there are many ways that this can be useful in the future. You might be like a publisher of some content, you want to get paid, or you really hate bots, but you really like humans. And so the idea with Fastlane is to like basically create this agreement between people that want to use scrapers and humans who create content so that everybody wins. Not only the bot gets a nicer version of the content in exchange for 1 token, whatever the value of the token might be, but it also means that if you're a human, to you, it's just like nothing else. You know, you're just getting it. You don't have to pay anything. So this is kind of my spiel on Fastlane. The reason why this is important is there's a lot of content publishers out there, like newspapers in Europe specifically, that they want to make more money. They're seeing the volume of their website being scraped, like I said, like 10x, 100x, 1000x. All of those extra scrapes, they cost them money. It's like volume of gigabytes of data. And so they're like, how can we make that money back? And so when I pitched them, and they were really excited about Fastlane. And so now Fastlane is just a demo on my computer that everybody can pretty much take a look at by just going to this GitHub link here. It's just a very simple implementation. There is basically like a middleware that decides whether you have authenticated as a human or if you have a valid token. If you do have a valid token, but you're not a human, then your content is given to you in exchange for your payment. Now, of course, this is day 0. We're going to have to figure out how do you decentralize maybe these wallets. I'm not talking about Web 3.0 or crypto, but I know like there's going to be some sort of like mechanism there that makes it so that people can sign up, like fund their wallet and then let their agents scrape the web. And then the other important thing is, you know, what if you hit the same page 10 times? What if you hit it 100 times? Should you be paying 1 credit for every time you scrape the same page? Or should there be cash? Or should there be something else? So these are questions for the future to answer. But if you're interested about Fastlane, if you know about content publishers that have issues and they want to kind of try to figure it out, get in touch, because that's what I'm doing on the side. Also, not really on the side. It's part of our company, because ToolHouse, you know, like, not trying to upsell here, but we're making it so that everybody can build agents really quickly. It's kind of a vibe code application, very similar to if you ever use like V0 or Lovable or whatever, you just type here like, hey, build me a scraper that does something, and then it will automatically build it for you. So if I can get like, I had a pre-made prompt here. Here's like, build a scraper, which will navigate to, you know, the website I had a second ago and summarize the content of the page. Well, I expect it to not run because it's going to be blocked by Fastlane. So it's writing the prompt, it's writing the agent for me. I'm just going to hit this button, and then in a second, it's going to say that it's going to fail. There you go. The page, the provided the URL is protected and requires a CAPTCHA. Okay, So you basically failed at scraping my website, which proves that my Fastlane implementation is working. Now, I could change the agent and say, hey, you want to pass a Fastlane header with your actual token, and then it would actually work. Let's see if I have it in my actually, I think I deployed it earlier, so I don't even have to rewrite the prompt. Let's see. There we go. So the prompt goes like something like this. I know it's hard to read. Build a web scraper which will navigate to the URL I gave you and summarize the content of the page using code interpreter and write a Python script to do that. Code interpreter is basically something that takes code and runs it. When you do a get request, pass the header that has the following data, and this is the header that matters, because if you do that, then you're basically enabling Fastlane. So if I run this agent with this new prompt, which has like all the data necessary to enable Fastlane, we're going to see in a minute that the agent is now running using code interpreter. It's writing a Python script, which is scraping the website using the Fastlane token. And ideally, in a second, we'll see the answer from the agent with all the data summarized, scraped, which is the opposite of what I showed before where it failed. So let's see if it happens. Running it again, give it a minute. But yeah, that's my demo. That's my spiel on Fastlane. If there are any questions, I hope I was under 7 minutes. Maybe not. I don't know. I couldn't keep track.
You're good.
Any questions about Yes, sir.
Can you repeat the question?
The question was, did I see the use case yesterday about Cloudflare? Yes. In fact, I started working on Fastlane just before Cloudflare had announced a previous blog post a couple of months ago. This is at ToolHouse, we build agents. The majority of the people that use ToolHouse, they want to scrape some sort of web page, and a lot of them are like, oh, I want to scrape Amazon. And so Amazon has all this like anti-scraping countermeasures measures, and so you cannot scrape a lot of things in Amazon. And so the answer is, yeah, I absolutely think whatever Cloudflare is doing is amazing. It's probably more complicated than what we're doing. We're keeping it simple, something that anybody can implement.
These might get to the Zoom.
Yeah, like the repo, our code is up. So
Repeat.
any other questions about scraping or? Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're working on this.
That's a good question. So agents, so when you scrape this page as a human, you're not limited. If you're scraping it as an agent like a Google bot, you might hit the CAPTCHA and you might be penalized, right? There's no, the one thing you can do is Google gives you IP address that you can whitelist. So another feature that I could add to Fastlane is check first the whitelist of IPs. If you're in there, let them through like a human and do not show the CAPTCHA or just return the markdown immediately. By the way, the agent worked using the Fastlane token. And so now we have the data down here, just like, like it's been summarized. So it's basically the same data here. And if I go back, technically from 95, it should probably be 90. Yeah, there you go, 92. So it's been scraped successfully by the agent programmatically.
Awesome.
Question.
I think there's been studies that show that like CAPTCHAs can be solved by AI dating back like 10 years ago before like full AI even existed. So like what's the point of like paying for the tokens and you can just solve the CAPTCHA at the bot?
Great question. CAPTCHAs are getting harder and harder. It is true that the simple CAPTCHAs, like the reCAPTCHAs, the ones that are like more basic, they're easy to bypass, and they're also easy to like fake like that you're a human. But like we've seen in last week, even Vercel has put out a news that they're collaborating with this like advanced anti-bot company called Kazana or Kazada, I forget the exact name, but they're making it harder and harder. And as we've seen from the first message here, the problem is that bots are not scraping your website twice, but like many, many, many more times. And so stopping bots, it's becoming more and more of a thing. It's kind of like shoplifting.
Yeah.
So people don't want people to shoplift. And so we're going to see increase in bot protection from agents that want to scrape.
Also, capture okay, showing a handle that text that can can you provide an answer? It was difficult for the machine.
Yeah.
But these days, it's no longer about solving, what you see, but rather collecting
Fingerprinting. Yes, sir.
Is the mouse movement across the browser in the more human-like fashion? Is it happening? And that's why, services like Turnstile, they don't even ask you about it. They're like, oh, just check this box.
Yeah.
And
Captures are super complicated now. They also do like really deep things. For example, they look like, do you have a graphics card connected to your computer? Do you have an external monitor? And so if you do have those extra hardware requirements, it just makes you more human than someone who does it, which is kind of scary, but it's the way we're going.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Another question.
Thought that I'm talking about this, that the response to piracy was make it available and cheap. And that made piracy less attractive. So I think that could be there's always gonna be a hard race of how do you make captures that can be solved.
Really, if you want to do that, like, if it was possible.
So